On the morning of August 24th, 79 AD, Pompeii was alive. It wasn't a silent ruin. It was a thriving Roman city of 20,000 souls. A hub of commerce, politics, and culture, nestled in the fertile shadow of a mountain they thought was a gentle giant. This isn't just a story about a city's death. It's a story about its last vibrant day. A day preserved forever in a single terrifying moment. To walk the streets of Pompeii then was to be immersed in a symphony of life. The air was thick with the aroma of fresh bread from over 30 different bakeries and the sounds of merchants haggling in the grand forum. Children's laughter echoed from the courtyards of lavish villas, their walls adorned with breathtaking frescoes telling tales of gods and heroes. This was a city of convenience. They had public fountains providing fresh water, complex plumbing systems, an amphitheater that could seat the entire population, and dozens of fast food stalls called thermopolia, serving the hot meals and spiced wine to busy citizens. It was also a city obsessed with politics. Campaign slogans, a form of ancient graffiti, were everywhere. Vote for Lucius, he won't squander the treasury. One reads. Another, more personal message scrawled on a wall simply says, Secundus was here. For years, small earthquakes had shaken the region. They were a nuisance, a part of life in the vibrant Bay of Naples. After a major quake in 62 AD, the people of Pompeii didn't flee. They rebuilt, bigger and more magnificent than before. They were resilient. They were Romans. They believed they were masters of their world, unaware that the mountain they called Vesuvius was not a mountain at all. It was a geological time bomb, and the clock was about to strike zero.
Around 1 p.m., the cork blew, not with a trickle, but with an explosion of unimaginable force, a sound that ripped across the sky for hundreds of miles. Vesuvius erupted. But this was no ordinary eruption. It didn't spew lava. Instead, it shot a colossal column of superheated ash, gas, and rock, 20 miles into the stratosphere, higher than a modern jetliner flies. Within minutes, day turned into a chilling, unnatural twilight as the massive cloud, a terrifying, mushrooming pine tree of debris, blotted out the sun.
Then it began to rain, a storm from hell. Not water, but billions of small, lightweight volcanic rocks called pumice. Some the size of pebbles, others as large as fists. It fell relentlessly for hours, piling up at a rate of 6 inches every hour. The weight was immense. The beautiful tile roofs of the villas began to creak, then groan, then shatter, collapsing on those who had sought shelter inside. Panic erupted. Chaos ruled the darkened streets. Some tied pillows to their heads and made a desperate run for the sea, choking on the thick, sulfuric air. Others huddled with their families in cellars, clutching their valuables, praying to the gods for mercy, praying for a dawn that would never come. They had no idea. The worst was yet to come.
In the early hours of the next morning, the catastrophe entered its final, deadliest phase. The immense column of ash in the sky, too heavy to support itself, collapsed. A pyroclastic surge, a 400-degree-Celsius avalanche of incandescent gas and ash, raced down the mountainside at over 100 miles per hour. It was a suffocating, superheated wave, moving faster than any human could run. It hugged the ground, flowing through streets, blasting through doors and windows. It was unstoppable, and it was instant. There was no time to scream. In a fraction of a second, every living thing in its path was flash-heated. It was not fire that preserved Pompeii, but this extreme heat, which carbonized everything it touched. Their final moment, captured for eternity.
For over 1,500 years, Pompeii vanished. Buried under 20 feet of ash and pumice, its name and location were forgotten. It became a legend, a lost city of myth. It wasn't until 1748 that it was rediscovered, by accident, by workmen digging foundations for a palace. What they began to unearth was breathtaking. They didn't just find buildings, they found a snapshot of life. Hermetically sealed from the passage of time, a loaf of bread, perfectly preserved in an oven, still stamped with the baker's name. A surgeon's toolkit, laid out as if ready for the next patient. Wine jars, still sealed, their contents long since evaporated, and everywhere, the graffiti, from love poems and insults to simple declarations of existence. Virgula to her Tertius, "You are a nasty boy." The explicit human details of daily life were everywhere. But the most haunting discovery was made in the 1860s by an archaeologist named Giuseppe Fiorelli. He noticed strange voids in the hardened ash layers. By carefully pouring plaster into these cavities, he created perfect casts of the victims, capturing their final desperate poses with heartbreaking clarity. A mother shielding her child, a man sitting with his head in his hands, a dog chained to its post, forever straining to escape. They weren't just artifacts, they were echoes, the final silent testament of human beings. Pompeii is a ghost story, written in ash. It's a humbling reminder that even the greatest cities can vanish in an instant. But it also teaches us that even in the face of total annihilation, the small details of our lives, our food, our art, our arguments, are what truly leave a mark. It's a story of tragedy, but also of a life that was so vibrant, not even a volcano could erase it completely. This is the kind of history we seek to uncover. If you believe every ruin has a story to tell, subscribe to Forgotten Lore.